Welcome to episode 35 of A to Z Sports Talk. After a few days off, we have plenty to go over today. The MLB is officially at the All-Star break, with the Home Run Derby going down tonight, as well as the MLB Draft still happening. The Blues have made a few offseason signings. The Summer League just wrapped up in the NBA with a surprising champ. We have our list for the top 3 and Zach top 10 hardest places to play in college football. And then we'll finish up the episode with our predictions for the Green Bay Packers. With so much to get to, I usually get us a whole intro. You guys just want to get into it with our Did You See It? Have anything to say before we get going?
Not really. I'm excited for the college football rankings.
Yeah. Well, I can get us started with our Did You See It then. I just have one little update because our social media has been doing pretty well as of recently. So I wanted to give a little update. Our Instagram is at 117 followers now. Our TikTok is 314 followers and 9,700 likes. Our YouTube's at 76 subscribers, so we're 24 away from the giveaway. And then our Twitter is not pretty much non-existent. But
we need to start get our Twitter game going.
We really need to. And then
I was actually gonna tweet something today. I was sitting there in the gym and I was gonna be like, I've asked you guys this before. Let me ask you this again. How do you hit on a girl in the gym? That's the one place I feel like is off limits. I have no idea.
Hey, can you spot me?
We also for our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, we've now reached 4 countries. 4 countries have officially listened.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweden, Australia, England, and US. I don't know who in Sweden, but I know the England and Australia. But that was mine. What you guys got?
Well, I assume you don't have any advice for me, AJ. But
I have no advice. Yeah. I've never had to hit on a girl in my life. No, not at all.
Speaking of Australia, I know you guys aren't golf guys, but the Open was this weekend at the course where golf originated, St. Andrews. It's super cool. It's literally like the same course as it was in like the 1500s. There's a really old town. They say all the players that are there, they just walk around and go to the pubs, drink a pint with the locals. But this course is really cool because it's link style, so it's really hard, kind of flat. So when you approach the green a lot, you usually hit it and it just roll forever. So you want to kind of hit it short and then it rolls up on there. But anyway, Cam Smith, an Australian, won the Open. He beat Rory. Rory was leading after 72 holes. Yeah, third round. I think that was right. Quick math. He was 16 under. Cam Smith was 12 under going into the final round, also paired with Cam Young. And Cam Smith, he had 2 birdies in the front 9. I think Roy had 2 birdies on the front 9 too. Let me look. I have it up right here. Yeah, Rory had a birdie on 1 on the front 9, 1 on the back 9, and he was only 2 under on the round. Cam Smith just went crazy. He had 2 birdies on the front 9, and then he birdied 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to take the lead, and then he birdied 18 to seal the deal. Wow. And he won at 20 under. And then Cam Young, who was playing with him, I think they just kind of fed off each other in energy, and he finished second with 19 under, and Rory finished 18. I was really hoping Rory was going to pull it off at St. Andrews, because St. Andrews is kind of some people say that that playing at that course, because you play there every 5 years in the Open, is even more a goal to win than the Masters, because you play there every single year. But
and that was in England, correct?
It's in Scotland, I believe.
Oh, Scotland.
It's in the UK. So.
And it's interesting that you said the flat ground thing, because I watched a little bit. It's a 3-day tournament, correct? Or aren't they most 4?
4.
And I remember I watched
3.
I guess the second day, I watched quite a bit. I went to go see my grandpa, and he had it on, so I was watching it with him. And there was a couple balls hit from guys that they did seem to roll a lot more. Usually when
Tiger hit a 450-yard drive or something, 420 yards, just because it just rolled forever.
Yeah,
all these greens were you could reach in par and a drivable par 4s. And also another cool thing is their greens are massive. I think 7 of the greens share 2, or there's 7 greens that share 2 holes. So a yellow flag means you're going from 1 to 10, and then on your back 9 come back, it's a red flag. So it's kind of cool.
Interesting.
And also, they have a really cool hole, number 17. They call it the road hole. You literally have to hit over like part of a hotel, like a building. And if you to get it in the fairway, like it's really hard. And then if you overshoot the green, there's like a road there. And so there's like a couple of players who had to hit it off the road.
So it's all like old timey, like vintage.
It's literally where golf was like originated.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I like it because the Open, it's on in the morning because it's in like Europe. So you just wake up and it's on. It's awesome.
That is cool.
I also have one more. Did you see it? Sorry.
Mhm.
I was getting into the golf, but Yadier Molina got thrown out of his Puerto Rican owned basketball team the other night.
Yeah. And then he come out with an apology. I just saw that right before we got on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I saw something about that where he came out with an apology. His actions were unacceptable or something like that. I didn't know what he did. And so I guess
I think you're just arguing the call.
that was it. Was it anything
Probably.
super serious or did
I
you
don't
see
know.
it at all?
I saw the video. I don't speak Spanish though, and I didn't say what he.
Okay.
I didn't know what he said.
Uh-huh.
Colin, did you see it?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull that up, but it doesn't look like it doesn't translate what he said in the video. Just translates his
Oh.
apology. No, but did you guys see my Snap story this weekend? I was a freaking menace. But no, apparently
Animal.
we are the Cardinals are like leading contenders to get Soto. It looks like
God, no.
I hope we don't.
I
But it looks
can't wrap
like
my head around it.
we're looking to send according to this MLB leaks on Twitter. It's 15 years, $500+ million,
Ooh.
which would
God,
not
please,
be
no.
not be good.
It's not something we would do. So that's why I'm like,
And it
I don't
makes
think-
no sense. Perfect segue to the MLB.
perfect.
It
Absolutely
makes no
perfect.
sense to me. Our position players are pretty good.
Mhm.
It's like, how about our pitching,
Yep.
especially because Wainwright's not going to play next year. Flaherty's going to get hurt. Matt's, I don't know
You
if
don't
we'll ever
know.
see
Is
him pitch again.
A joke.
Yeah, you don't know.
Michaelis, future Hall of Famer. And then Hudson, also future Cardinals Hall of Famer.
Just too inconsistent.
So
Oh,
what do you
God.
think fits Soto then? What
Probably
made
for
him
the
really-
Dodgers or Yankees.
I keep seeing
I was
Yankees.
thinking the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have a lot of assets to do it. But and I guess
Matt Carpenter for Juan Soto.
Straight up.
at that point, I guess they would let Judge go at the end of the season because I mean, right?
Yeah.
He's like 6 years younger. Soto is so. Play something to keep an eye on. I would
About
be
Matt
shocked if he did
Carpenter,
that.
there was this tweet that said, this guy was like, my great grandpa had Babe Ruth, my grandpa had Hank Aaron, my dad had Barry Bonds, I have Matt Carpenter.
He is absolutely on a tear. It's like what he did that 1 year with us, or that one half a season with us.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to keep it up, but like we mentioned before, that short porch in right field, he's just dumping it over there.
Yeah.
So it's working out for him. But you mentioned a perfect segue into the MLB. We're at the All-Star break now. The Cardinals are 50-44. I put down that we have reinforcements coming though, which is a good sign. Bader should be back by Friday. Matz was supposed to pitch yesterday before we got rained out. Hudson and Yepes are on the IL right now, but they'll be back. Arenado's dealing with something. He'll be fine. And then Yachty will probably come back 275 pounds. So
Running
don't
his
know.
like 12-minute miles.
yeah,
We do have the easiest schedule left in baseball.
Yeah.
that helps out a lot.
Take advantage.
Yeah.
And the Brewers
Yeah.
have one of the harder. They have like 28, 30. They have more games against teams over 500 than we do.
Mhm.
Oh.
And
I thought like their overall strength of schedule was like still low. I thought it was like
I
23.
think they play like 28 teams over 500, so that's not good. We play like 12.
wow.
Oh wow.
So have you guys seen what the Brewers have been up to? What's up with Josh Hader?
Oh, he's been sucking.
He's
I watched
been-
like
oh my goodness,
I haven't seen
6-minute video
anything.
of him falling apart against the Giants at the end.
dude. He's got a 4.50 ERA now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he gave up 6 and a third of an inning the other night against the
3 home
Giants.
runs.
Yeah. Like I love to see it. It's just I don't know if it's like overuse that they've just like driven him into the ground. Kind of like
Does he really pitch that much?
He doesn't pitch that much, I don't think.
maybe it's not then. I was going to
He
compare him.
pitched
You
like
know,
30 innings.
you remember like Andrew Miller, how dominant he was with the Indians at the time? And then
Yeah.
we got him and he was a shell of himself. And they pitched him in that postseason or two postseasons, like every single night pretty much. And it just drained him.
I feel like after a lot of relievers were like that,
Definitely.
where like after a couple of years, people just start kind of figuring him out. But like obviously, like I still think he's good. Maybe I don't know. I guess that kind of just shows how dominant
he's only pitched.
Mariano Rivera was, like being a reliever and just like
Mhm.
mowing down people.
He's only pitched 33 games, 30 innings. So
Yeah, it can't be overused. I'm thinking maybe past years. I know his velocity's down a little bit this year. He was usually 98, 99. He's sitting like 94, 95 now. But with them, I keep seeing. I don't follow them actually. I shouldn't say that. But there's a couple pages on Instagram I've seen that like are Brewers pages, and they keep talking about they want to. It's like a fan page, but they want to trade Hader, which would be like kind of blockbuster because they have Devin Williams who could be a closer. So I thought that was interesting. But going into the second half, actually, I was gonna save that for last part here. You guys want to do home run derby talk next or the draft?
Home run derby.
Home run
It's
derby.
about to start in 8 minutes.
I know. I'm keeping up with it here. Do you guys have one in it?
I don't even know who's in it, if I'm being honest. I'll pull up the bracket real quick.
I think two guys stand out to me because they're built for it. And that's Pete Alonso and Kyle Schwarber. Like it's literally what they're meant to do.
Well, honestly, I think Juan Soto's a sleeper.
He is, man. And him,
He
those
just-
young guys,
Yeah.
him, Acuna, even Julio Rodriguez could be
I think Jose Ramirez, no one's talked about him.
not at all.
I think Acuna and Seager, no way he's gonna win.
Mhm.
Acuna and Julio, I just feel like they swing like so violently. They're gonna
and
get tired.
it's one of those endurance races, you know. There's so many swings and they're in incredible shape. That's why I hope Albert brings back some vintage, like, you know, how have you guys heard the story about Ichiro? How Ichiro was not a power hitter, but in batting practice, he could
Yes,
turn it on.
I
wonder if it's
saw
one of those
Ichiro
things.
hit like in batting practice one time.
Yeah.
It was insane.
So maybe it's one of those things with Albert tonight. Who knows?
I think he should like go at a like steady pace, not fast, and just try to hit,
Mhm.
like have like a better like percentage of
Yeah.
hitting a home run than
Yeah.
Do you see for every round he makes it through through the home run derby, the Cardinals are bouncing off like 50% of tickets. So if he wins it, there's like a bunch of free tickets for a game
Wow, I didn't know that.
against the Rockies. I think is it next weekend
yeah.
or at some point.
against the Rockies.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Kyle Schwarber. And I know he's the number one seed here because I think he's got like 29 homers, but I don't think Pete Alonso will win a third straight or third, I guess, overall. I don't think it's his third straight. He could though, but I'm gonna go Kyle Schwarber. His swing just matches what they're doing here. And I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of emphasis and pressure on the guy throwing to you. You know, you have to be pretty accurate with that. And like it seems like an easy thing, just throw it, but it's timed like that. Like you have to be pretty accurate. And so Kyle Schwarber's been here, and so I think he has that advantage. But
Well, have you seen Pete Alonso's like Jesus, what's it called? Batting practice pitcher?
Mm-mm.
Literally
No.
every single pitch the last 2 years has been in the size of a
Oh
like
my
paper
gosh.
Yeah.
plate in the
And
middle.
he's not
of
even on the
zone.
Mets anymore. He coaches for the Nationals.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. I saw somebody talking about how is his coach going to wear the Nationals stuff? Because I mean they're semi rivals or whatever in the East. But
He hits him.
yeah, who you guys going with?
Uh,
I'm gonna go Jose just because I don't like Schwarber or Alonso that much.
I'll go with Acuna.
I like that pick. I like the Acuna pick.
I think
'cause-
whoever wins that first matchup will win it.
Exactly. I think if he knocks off Pete, he has a good chance of continuing it. And then he's like the number one odds favorite to hit the longest homer as well tonight. Which
really?
I think makes sense. The
I
record
wish
is
Stanton was in it because he literally hit it out of Dodger Stadium in a regular season game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the record they said was 521 feet. And I think that was last year. They said Otani hit one 521. or maybe 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
he crushed one of them. Crushed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we can move on to the MLB draft. Obviously, the MLB draft is unlike any other. There's unlimited amount of picks going on right now. Less than what there was in past, though. I mean, there used to be 45 rounds. Now there's 20.
Yeah.
But the top three I thought were interesting. Jackson Holiday, number 1 overall. And that's obviously Matt Holliday's kid.
Yeah.
Drew Jones Jr. goes number 2, and I thought he was going to be number 1. He's got like a 5-tool, can do everything. But the biggest of them all is number 3 overall, Kumar Rocker, who last year went 10th overall, dealt with some medical issues, had to classify or re-enter the draft. He wasn't projected to be in the top 10 at all. He was late second round. He goes 3rd overall to the Rangers. My mind is still blown when I was watching.
That's the kid from Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah, the big boy.
Reunited with his other Vandy.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't know who drafted him last year, but they didn't sign him because something in his physical. Like
the Mets.
The Mets. Yeah, so I don't know, but
you guys,
that's
you
pretty
said
wild.
His Are you talking about Jack Leiter, Zach?
Yeah.
You're talking about So yeah, he's with him again too. So
reunited.
But yeah, I just wanted to mention those 3, and then obviously we can move on to the Cardinals pick, which I made a TikTok about how I absolutely love the pick. I think it was the one guy. There was Gabriel Hughes was a guy out of Gonzaga I was really wanting. He went 10th overall, which was also a shock. He was supposed to fall. But Cooper Jerpy out of Oregon State.
You mean Herpy?
Herpy. I had to make sure and look it up how to pronounce it. But I guess he was an first team All-American last year. He led the country in strikeouts, I believe, for Oregon State. He has like this Chris Sale, Josh Hader type delivery. He doesn't have like that electric stuff, but a wipeout slider. And everything I'm reading is that he could pitch this year if we needed a lefty out of the bullpen. Down the line.
That won't happen.
No.
McFarland has a contract.
Yeah, McFarland. Oh, good Lord.
He's also just shut down. So
yeah. So the other night we were up, I think it was like 8-1 against the Reds. And they put him in to like eat some innings at the end. And he got the first 2 guys that got on base, 8-1 game, and they took him out. And that was just a sign to me that might be the last time we see him, because
I sure hope
so. Out of our free agent signings, we have like by far the worst WAR from free agent signings in the
best
MLB.
has been like Packy Naughton.
Packy's been good, man. Yeah. But yeah, Verhagen has struggled. McFarland struggled. They let go of Whitgren.
I thought Wickram was better than Verhagen.
Yeah,
I thought so too. I mean, I didn't think so. Obviously, I was high on Verhagen, but now looking back at it, I'm surprised.
Ever since you were gushing over Verhagen, he's been absolute
just
garbage.
downhill, complete downhill. But no, I thought Whitgren was. I think we talked about it. I thought Whitgren was going to be the 3rd one to go. I thought he would have the best chance, but he was the first one gone. The Cardinals drafted. I didn't write them down. We drafted a lot of like nothing super exciting this year. A lot of control pitchers, like we always do. One of our guys tops off at 90 miles per hour. So, I mean, nothing electric from what we got, but
Little Wainwright
for real. And then to finish up the MLB section, we can move on to like any predictions or expectations for the second half. I had 3 that are all league, but I have the Mariners, who are obviously on a 14-game winning streak right now. I have them, I believe they're 9 back in the division of the Astros. I think they get within 3 of the Astros, and I think they make the playoffs as a wild card for the first time in I think 20 years.
I think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll challenge Houston for the. I think Houston's just way too better.
Definitely a bold pick on my end.
But who do you think is like? Do you think right now how the playoffs, like the teams that are in the playoff position, do you think that's how it's going to be, or do you think there's some people that are going to sneak in or drop out?
So the 3 wild card are Seattle, Toronto, and Boston. Is that correct?
No, Boston's not in anymore.
No,
should be
Tampa Bay, Seattle, Toronto.
Boston's a game or 2 out.
Yeah, they're 2
so Boston
out.
has a chance. Baltimore's like right there, and the Guardians are right there, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
right?
Cleveland's 2.5 back.
Well,
Baltimore's
the White
3.5,
Sox
and the White Sox are 3.5 back.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll stay that way, because this was one of my other predictions. I have the White Sox winning the AL Central. I think they're starting to gain some ground, and I don't trust the Twins And the Guardians are a good story. I hope they continue it because I like some of their guys. But
You know who's been flying under the radar is Luis Robert.
mm-hmm.
He's batting
So
303, like 15 homers, 50 some RBIs.
Yeah.
Like he's like a
he's
stud.
getting right. Yeah. And I called him Robert because he's Hispanic, and I thought there was like a little spin
Is it
on
Robert?
It's Robert. I called him Robert
Yeah.
on TikTok, and I got like 10 comments roasting me. This guy doesn't know baseball. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, geez. But yeah, it's apparently Robert.
I love just putting little. Oh yeah, never mind. Well, I'll get there in the next topic about one of your TikToks.
Okay.
But what else was I gonna say? Do you think Baltimore should be a buyer or seller at the deadline?
That's insane that we're talking about that.
I personally think seller, but sell people that like aren't like not like clean the house. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
What a spot they're in though, because they're overperforming their expectations coming into the season, and then they had the number 1 overall pick. So obviously Jackson won't be here for a while, but man, what a weird situation.
Did you see Jackson Holiday? He batted almost 700 in high school. He batted like 672.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I've never even seen something like that before.
He does look like
insane.
he's 10 years old though.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he doesn't. So I was telling my dad about this. These last couple drafts, we've had Spencer Torkelson, who's a big body, Adley Rushman, big body. Last year, I think his name was like Henry Davis. He was a catcher, big body. These first 2 guys in the draft, Drew Jones and Jackson, compared to like Kumar Rocker, they look like, I mean, they're all obviously kids, but they look just like children. Like, it's unbelievable.
There's probably a 4 or 5 year age difference there.
Yeah.
How old is Kumar? I was wondering that.
Like
22, 23?
Like our age.
Is he?
I would say so because he went to college for at least 3 or 4 years.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that long at college.
I don't know
so
how
I guess
I
that
think
makes
you
more
go
sense.
usually 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. No, yeah, Jackson. I think Jackson's going to be a good one. He has a lot of tools, and everybody's comparing him to Brandon Crawford. That's the one name that they were talking about.
I don't know if that's a great person to be compared to.
I was about to say, you drafted Brandon Crawford first overall?
No.
My last like kind of bold prediction is I think the Yankees still win the division, obviously, but I think it gets like within 5 games. That's my bold take. I think Toronto, Tampa, I think one of those guys are due to get really hot, and I think the Yankees fall off a little bit.
I'm excited just to watch. I think the Yankees are gonna like win the division. Obviously, they're up by so many games, but
oh my goodness,
I'm excited for that the wild card battles.
So how does that work?
What do you mean?
With 3 teams now? I don't remember how that works. So
there's only one bye, right?
Yeah, the number 1 seed gets the bye. It's kind of like NFL, right?
And they do
NFL
best
has
of
6 teams, 12 teams in the playoffs. Or yeah, they just added another team because in the first the number 1 seed gets a bye.
Yeah. So is it 14 now in the NFL? Is that right?
No, it's 12.
6 and 6.
Yeah, I think so.
And then
not sure at all though.
So if one gets a bye,
maybe it is 14. I don't know.
Is it two like is it best out of 5 for the 2 versus the whatever seed?
I think it's 3. Is it 5 or 3?
I know they did 3 during that COVID year, and I really didn't like the best out of 3.
Yeah, it'd have to be 5.
All right,
I'm hoping it's 5.
Find a
I personally like 7 just the whole way out.
I agree,
but
yeah,
12 teams, 6 from each league. Number 1 and number 2 seeds will get a bye in this format. Number 3 will host number 6, and number 4 will host number 5.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, so
Best out of
NFL has
5, probably.
14 teams. No, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm assuming they play best of 5.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I would hope. It doesn't really say.
Yep. You guys have anything else baseball wise? Not really much to talk about.
I'm going to predict the Cardinals win the division.
Yeah,
because we should.
I agree with that. Yeah,
we're half a game back.
I'm with that, and trends are going opposite directions for both teams, so
right.
I agree with that. In the NHL, not a whole lot going on. Obviously, last week was pretty hectic with all the signings. I wanted to list a couple blue signings for any St. Louis fans out there. Mikkola re-signed on a 1-year deal. Nathan Walker signed on a 1-year deal, and then we got some like fourth line type guys. Martin Ferk from the LA Kings, and I love that we have Falk and Ferk now. I feel like our announcers might slip.
Well,
Announcing.
he's a two-way guy.
What do you think they'll say, AJ?
Yeah, he is a two-way guy, and I heard he scored a lot for LA in their AHL. I don't know how. I don't know if that's.
I mean,
accurate or not.
he's only played like 6 or 7 NHL games in the last 2-3 years.
Do you think these signings are like solid players?
Yeah, because I think it's
Which
like
ones?
Whoever AJ just said, because I don't know any of them.
Well, Walker's a two-way guy too. I mean,
He's been with
I
us,
like when he
right?
plays. Yeah. And then Mikko, I think he's getting better, and I
Mhm.
think he'll be all right. He'll be a third defensive pairing.
So I
I
think
think
it's
Walker
good to
could make-
have, obviously, depth
Mhm.
in a hockey team to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So I think Walker could make the team out of camp in October. I think he
I
has
do
a good.
too.
I think he has a good chance of that. We got Matthew Highmore, another NHL/AHL guy, on a 2-way deal. He was in Vancouver, I believe, and then Joshua Levo, who my dad was like praising earlier. I don't know much about the guy, but he was in the AHL for Carolina, and so we signed him as well. But the most these guys are going to get are fourth line opportunities, and with Toropchenko being out the first couple months, that kind of there's a role for somebody. I guess Walker could be a third line guy, but it really looks like we're just riding with what we have. Not really. I guess we're just going to keep Tarasenko this year, and
I
Kinda
think we
go
should try
after
to
that.
trade him.
the only thing is like I feel like Kyrie's gonna make some money coming up here. I think he's got one more year until he's a restricted free agent. I believe I saw that.
Yeah, he's got one left.
Not a fan of Kyrie, Conlon?
Not the biggest. He's fine. I don't
Mhm.
know. He's
He seems a little
inconsistent.
soft.
He doesn't have
Am
that.
I-
Yeah,
He
he
is
doesn't have
very
that 2-way
soft.
game. Yeah.
He's
I like the
very
guys
soft.
who play the way I play NHL 22, and that is kill anyone.
Yep.
Always lead in hits.
Colin, I played Zach probably a couple weeks ago, and the dude just wiped me out like every single time I was
It was
carrying
the end of
puck
the
down
game.
ice.
AJ had like 10 hits. I had like 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go for blood.
But we have some decisions to make because Barbie's a free agent, I believe, next year. I don't want to butcher that, but I believe that's correct. And then O'Reilly's coming up here too.
We need
And-
to,
and
we need to
Tarasenko.
extend him.
I agree with that. And would he be the one out of the three? Where you say
What
out of
was the other
Barbie and-
one?
Barbie and Tarasenko.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think we keep around Tarasenko.
And then especially you let go of Tarasenko and Barbie next year in free agency.
Get to Chuck
You gotta get Kachuk. I think
or
it's
McDavid.
Update on that. How players can file for contract arbitration. Give them a little more time to deal with it. The Flames actually, as an organization, filed for arbitration just so they can have more discussions with Kachuk instead of throwing him on. I don't know how that works, but instead of basically they just have more time now.
Did you guys see the Calgary reporter just roast Gaudreau, right? Yeah.
The news anchor.
Yeah, where he was like, at least I don't remember. I think I sent it to you guys, but he's like, at least I didn't what was it? Take like 20 million less to go play in Columbus or something. It was about like weather.
Tarasenko right now is our only true right winger besides Toropchenko, who's hurt.
Okay.
So,
Do we still have I think AJ's frozen right now.
yeah, he definitely is.
Do we have Costin?
No, I don't think we've re-signed him yet. He's free agent.
Oh, that's
So.
not good.
Yeah, but defensively, we're locked up with everybody except Perunovic and Mikkola after this year. And then I think, yeah, that's right. And then, I mean, I don't know. We need another goal scorer up front, I think.
How long is Krug? Isn't Krug on like a super long deal?
Krug's on a long deal, yeah. Really long
Do you
deal.
think we should get rid of him?
Parayko, Falk, and Letty are both on long-term deals. It depends on what we get for him, because if Krug's out, we have a massive hole defensively again.
Yeah.
So
Like you need someone. Well, like yeah. So you'd hopefully try to get like a defenseman, but or at least someone.
yeah,
Or just make
I really
space to
don't know.
sign. I don't know.
Exactly. But yeah, we're definitely gonna need some young guys and some AHL guys step up, because losing Perron, who is one of our leading scorers, is gonna be tough, especially when he played so well with O'Reilly and Vucinovic. So it's gonna be interesting to start the year, and there's gonna be some holes to fill. So
Yeah. So we have NBA Summer League up next.
we'll let
I didn't-
AJ talk about that in a
Yeah, we'll let
TikTok,
him
unless you
talk about it when he comes back. But I do have one thing I want to mention about it. They gave rings to whoever won it this year. Like legit rings, like they won the championship. They played like six total games.
who even won? I don't even.
The Blazers.
You said 6 games?
They don't play that many games. They play like a week. They play like
Huh.
4 games and they go into a tournament. I think
That's weird.
it's really Let me look at it.
Sick
NBA.
league. Ugh. Is that it for NBA till AJ gets back?
Yeah, until AJ returns.
I don't
which
really.
could-
I don't really anticipate AJ coming back.
Oh my god!
there he is.
This is if
The
everyone's
Wi-Fi.
listening. This is the fastest AJ's ever gotten on Zoom. It takes him usually it's to log in like 30 minutes before we start because his computer's not that good. And so now we will wait.
Do you want to just go into the college football while we wait? Since
Yeah, for my,
he
like-
probably didn't have much to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I got, like,
so
a ton.
we had hardest places to play, and it's kind of it's difficult to do because there's some teams that are just so dominant, whether it's at home or on the road.
Yeah.
That's like, is that really the hardest place to play, or are you just playing a team that beats the heck out of everybody?
Also, there's like
But-
places that are loud, like really
Yeah,
really like good environment, but they are not that good. Or they're
Right.
not good anymore.
I tried to do a mix of both.
I tried my best, yeah.
I tried my best.
So I'm back after some technical difficulties. What I miss here, boys? Did we just move on to college football?
Yeah, we kind of skipped over the summer league.
Well,
That's
we'll go
fine.
back to it after.
Go back
Yeah,
if you want.
that's
yeah.
fine.
All I mentioned
Alright.
was they got rings, which was I thought kind of stupid.
Yeah. So how are we doing this? How do you guys want to start this off? College football. What have
Well, I guess I
missed?
can go for like 5
Yeah, go ahead and give some of
Go for it.
yours.
Okay, so I'll start with my honorable mentions. I got 4 of those. So I put Virginia Tech as an honorable mention. Enter Sandman, legendary. They're just not like great. Like that entrance is good.
You say Virginia Tech? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
Virginia Tech. Enter Sandman. Like the video when college football came back the year after COVID, and they show the video of the stands, and they're like, "College football is back." It just gives me goosebumps. It gets me hyped. I had Florida and Auburn, SEC. They're always loud and like the swamp, and then I put Oklahoma, really just because I don't think it's like it's probably loud, but it's not like comparison to like some other schools, but they just dominate everyone.
Well, they
Um,
dominate the Big 12. 'cause
yeah, the Big 12
sucks.
Will they dominate the SEC?
No.
Probably not, because they don't play defense. So I'll go through like up till how many you guys did 3, so I'll just run through these.
Yeah.
So number 10, I did the Big House, Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Like Michigan's not as good as they used to be. Like they've been better this previous years, but I don't know why. Like it's obviously gets loud and hard to play in, but I don't know. It just doesn't give me that feel like a really, really tough place to play. And I think they should be on there because they're the biggest stadium in the US, which it
Mhm.
doesn't look like it, but it's just bleacher seats and they just stuff them in like sardines. And then for number 9, Camp Randall in Madison, Wisconsin for what's their mascot?
Wisconsin Badgers.
Yeah, Badgers. I almost said Beavers. I was like, that is not right. But that's always just rocking Wisconsin. known for the biggest beer drinking state, so it's going to be like a party, and they do jump around, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Number 8, Kyle Field, Texas A&M. That stadium is massive. It's like 100,000, and it is like rocking.
That stadium's loud.
Very loud. They do the midnight yell too. Like Clemson played there my freshman year, and I was watching on TV, and it was like crazy. Like it'd be awesome just to at least like tour the stadium or go there for a game. This one's like a little different from a lot of the other schools, but Autzen Stadium, Oregon Ducks, probably like the one team in the Pac-12 that I feel like has a good loyal fan base where they're really loud there, and Oregon's mostly dominant like every single year, and I like Oregon. So number 6, I think some people like to put them pretty high. It's Beaver Stadium, State College for Penn State. Obviously, the whiteout is crazy, but I looked into that, and they are one game over 500 in the whiteout. So, like, is it really that tough to play there? They're like 9-8.
Well, they've really struggled too since all.
Yeah, they've not.
Yeah,
It's a lot of scandals.
Yes.
Number 5 for me is Ohio Stadium, Columbus, Ohio State. Obviously, it's always rocking there because they're dominant and like they just destroy everyone basically. Number 4 for me is Dooley Field at Stanford Stadium or Sanford. I may have misspelled that.
Stanford.
I think it's Sanford at Georgia. I think it's Sanford. But Georgia, always good. They got the crazy people in the painted wearing spikes on their shoulder pads. They're crazy, and that's always a tough place to play because Georgia just like punches you in the face.
Yeah.
So you guys can do your 3 because I'm out of breath.
3. So I think my 3, I actually had Penn State. Just because, it's a big stadium and it's really loud.
The whiteout is just cool.
The whiteout, I think, is really cool.
It's really cool.
And now when we're going back to the scandals, I guess there's other reasons why it's hard to play there. You know what I mean? And then AJ, do you want to do your number 3?
Yeah. So my number 3 was Memorial Stadium, Clemson. That was my number 3.
Good pick, AJ.
I like your whole run down the hill thing. I think that's kind of lit. So
it is really cool. Honestly, the coolest part is like the hype up to that. They like show like a hype video. Last year's hype video kind of sucked, but like Dabo comes up there. Sorry, I have them up. I'll just go in there later.
Well, you guys obviously have also been very successful these last few years. So, or last, I don't know, how long has been the run now?
I'll tell you. We'll get there.
Okay, we'll get there.
This is not biased rankings at all. Number 3 for me is Bryant-Denny Stadium, Alabama. They have a 13-game home winning streak, and like I don't consider them like the loudest stadium. Like a lot of like, unless they play like a really good team, then it's packed and it's really like raucous and loud. But it's Alabama. Like you play them away, and you're like gonna lose. They're just so dominant, and you just walk in there, you're just kind of like deflated before you even start playing because you're like they're just so much better than anyone else. 2.
Yeah, I didn't put Alabama on this list just because it doesn't matter where they play, they're gonna beat you.
I didn't
think there was much of like a home field advantage there. My number 2, I have Ohio State. That place, they did renovations. I don't remember when that was, but I know it's over 100,000 now. So it's one of the biggest in the stadium. They've been pretty dominant the last few years. And Notre Dame opens the season there, and I'm really curious to see how it goes. But
you gonna go?
No, I can't. They sold out so quickly.
Jeez, that's gonna be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. So my number 2 is Michigan Stadium, and I think it might just be because of how big it is. It just those. I know you said they're not as. I think you said they're not as crazy as other fan bases. I guess
I think they are. It just I don't know why when I watch it, I just don't get like the. I don't know.
I know what you mean. I've watched.
Also, I don't watch
Michigan
a lot
games.
of Michigan football.
Yeah, and they're on what, CBS or Fox against
Fox has
Ohio
Big Ten, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I see a little bit, and I understand where you're coming from. I think it's just, what is it, over 100,000?
It's over 100. Like,
Yeah, I have it. It's 107,601, and then Beaver Stadium's second, Ohio Stadium's third, Kyle Field's four.
That's insane. Yeah, I think it might just be the largeness of the stadium that does it for me. But yeah, I had
cool-looking
Michigan Stadium number 2.
My number 2 is Tiger Stadium, LSU. Obviously I don't like LSU, but I just remember
why is that, by the way? I don't like them either, but why don't you like them?
Why do you think, AJ? They beat us in the national title game.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
And I don't like Joe Burrow.
My reason is Joe Burrow, yeah.
I just remember as a kid always like watching when LSU was pretty good with Les Miles, and they'd always have like the night game at LSU, like LSU Alabama, and it was just like nuts. And LSU always seems to win like a night game at home. It's like guaranteed 99% chance they'll win, which I've always thought LSU stadium was just super hard to play at.
Yeah, I have LSU at 1.
Okay.
Even when they're like struggling, they still manage to pull out some big time wins at home.
And my number 1 was Beaver Stadium, Penn State. And I think it's just like the insanity of like the whiteout. It just looks insane.
Just
it
looks
kind of
so
gives
cool.
me. I don't know if you guys have seen like Utah State in basketball. They're kind of the same way. They do that kind of whiteout thing, and
Oh, really?
it just looks insane. But yeah, I had Beaver Stadium, and I had to like double check it was Beaver Stadium. That didn't seem like it would fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had them number 1.
Yeah.
I think we should do this for college basketball too, because that'd be college basketball is really
Definitely.
crazy. So obviously I have a lot of bias for this number 1, but Memorial Stadium, Clemson. I have a lot of like to hold like back it up. One, it's super loud. I've witnessed it. Second, we have a 34 game home winning streak. I feel like that's a pretty hard place to play when you won 34 games in a row.
Is that the longest current one in the country?
Yes. This number 2, God, I had it pulled up.
Well, we lost ours last year.
It was,
and it
like,
was
Oregon had a 19 game winning streak. I think they were 2, maybe, which surprised me, honestly. But yeah, Memorial Stadium, or known as Death Valley. And fun fact, it is the real Death Valley, not LSU. It was named Death Valley in 1948. LSU's was named in 1959. So just clear that air. It's I think what makes it like some of these stadiums is they don't, or God, I can't talk. Some of these teams where it's super hard to play at their home stadium is because AJ, stop smiling. Is because they don't have a pro sport, like pro NFL team in the state. Like South Carolina doesn't, Alabama doesn't. LSU has the Saints, but like I think if you polled people like LSU or the Saints, I think LSU would be higher. So
that's a good point, because Alabama's that way as well, and like my cousins live in Alabama, and like they're die-hard Alabama fans, and like just from how they talk about it, it's kind of like West Virginia with basketball. Also, they kind of go. It's just like it's their state's team, not country. It's their state's team. So yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Like with Oregon, basically everyone.
Yeah.
Georgia, the Falcons suck. So,
yep.
But yeah, Memorial Stadium,
number 1.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna have so much more college football to talk about in these next few weeks coming up. I did want to get back to that summer league just a little bit. I had the Trailblazers won, which I mentioned in the beginning. That was kind of a surprise because they were without their number 1 pick this year, Shaden Sharp, too. So kind of a surprise.
Damian Lillard didn't play either.
Obviously. I had 3 takeaways from the summer league. So my number 1 is the number 1 pick, Paolo Banchero, is going to be what you and I were talking about. So he makes superstar plays happen, and then you look at the box score, he's got like 25 and 10 with 9 turnovers. And I just picture him doing that. I know a lot of actual NBA stars have said he has the stuff to be that guy in the league. And I agree with that. He's obviously 19, maybe 20 years old now, but he's going to have to learn that he's got to just take care of it more. And we saw that at Duke. I remember you and I talked about it, how he would catch it maybe in the post sometimes and then try to make passes that aren't realistic to make in
He would
situations and
settle
turn
a
it over.
lot. He'd take a pull up when he could have drove on like a smaller
Definitely.
defender.
Definitely. And he's so young. He's going to grow into that. My number 2 takeaway is I think Chet Holmgren is going to be a problem. I just really do on both ends. And I think with the league shying away so much from like back down post players, you'll see Embiid do it. You'll see Jokic do it. Maybe Cat, but there's not really. It's all stretch bigs, and I just think he feeds into that. There's going to be times where he's going to go viral for being absolutely bullied.
He's gonna go in for a dunk, and Embiid's just gonna like throw him into the 5th row.
If Embiid ever goes in for a dunk on him, I just get out of the way if I'm Chet.
I think he would die.
Yes, just don't even try it. And then my takeaway is you and I were high on this guy, Keegan Murray, going into the draft. And I heard a lot of people saying he should be later in the top 10. He went 4th to the Kings, and I think he was the best draft player in the summer league.
Really?
I watched a few of his games, and just very smart player. And I guess he had played maybe 2 or 3 years at Iowa, something like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't a one and done.
No.
And he just looked. Last year he was up for Player of the Year. He just looks ready. He doesn't look like he has to grow a whole lot, which I think will help the Kings.
Did Jaden Ivey only play one game? So I saw stats for that.
He twisted his ankle.
He was 26 and 6 and 9 for 14.
He's going to be good, man. He's going to be really good.
Also, by the way, Julio Rodriguez has almost hit 30. He just hit 30 home runs. Yep.
Holy cow.
10 seconds left.
Julio's the man.
He's at 31.
I just wanted to get through those 3 takeaways. Not a whole lot of basketball to talk about for a while here. Maybe some rankings or stuff like that coming up. But let's move on to our last segment, the Green Bay Packers.
Go Pack, go.
A
Colin,
team that
me and you're his little league football too.
Yeah, we were good.
A team that is always good, but just has a hard time, seems like, getting over that hump in the playoffs. I have them at 11-6, and I'll get into why. But what are you guys thinking?
I was thinking 10-7 or 11-6 as well.
Yeah, I had 12-5 or 11-6.
Okay, perfect. So obviously, I'll let you guys take away with like the players, but I did want to mention, I think with their wide receiver core always kind of being the problem. Devontae Adams is obviously gone in Vegas now, so I just don't see where the wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys can make it work with anybody, but I think my prediction is Aaron Jones is going to have so much success this year if he can stay healthy through the pass game, through the run game. AJ Dillon's still there, correct?
Yeah.
So I think they're just going to
punch.
Carry those guys, and I even marked it down here. I think Aaron Jones is going to be a fantasy star this year. I think he
always has. He has been like the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I think like you were saying about the wide receivers, I was looking at their wide receiver room, and they have a lot of not like a superstars, but they have a lot of solid players, I'd say. Alan Lazard's been like good with them for a while. He's been like solid. They assigned Sammy Watkins. He'll get the job done. They drafted
I didn't see that.
Christian Watson from North Dakota State. He really, honestly, his stats in college really didn't impress me that much.
Was he that second rounder? Or was he late first? I don't know if you have it.
Second round. They drafted 2 defensive players from Georgia in the first round. They had 11 draft picks.
Wow. Okay.
But he ran like a 4.36, so he's a big play guy, kind of who they like. Just run a fly route, and Aaron Rodgers will find you.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have Randall Cobb's back there again. They have Amari Rodgers from Clemson from a couple years ago, who I think will be solid. And they drafted another guy, Romeo Dubes. Kind of a funny name. And then they have Robert Tonyan, who I think is a solid tight end. I wrote down that they're going to have a committee approach to the receiver. in the receiving game because you don't have Devontae Adams where you can throw to
Yeah.
him 10 times. You got to like spread the ball around.
Are we
Which in
going
a
to
way,
see
like Aaron Rodgers can spread the ball around. Like maybe he'll kind of prove us something wrong and have like a super good season.
Are we going to see maybe a different approach to a normal Packers offense? Every time you have Aaron Rodgers, it's obviously throw heavy. I just wonder if they lean towards Dylan and Aaron Jones just kind of carrying the.
I think they do
load.
run it like quite a bit.
They have to. I mean, I know even when I was looking at like fantasy stats last year, it seemed like every game Jones had 15, Dylan had 16, something like that. How are you guys feeling defensively? Last year they were ranked 13th in total defense. I think they'll be a top 15 again this year.
Their
They
defense
did
is
lose
good.
they lost that one edge or linebacker. We talked about him last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. Oh man, what's his name? Smith? Something Smith.
Smith.
I think that's right.
I do not know.
I think we said he went to the Lions. But I'll look it up. You guys can keep going here.
Yeah, they have a pretty solid defense. I think they have like Jair Alexander, solid cornerback, Adrian Amos, good safety. Rashawn Gary's been really good for them. And they drafted Quay Walker from Georgia. And what I've been reading about him is he's just kind of like a freak. He's 6'4", 240, and he ran a 40 and 4.45, which is pretty good for a large human. Which is yeah.
I found that name, Zadarius Smith, outside linebacker. He went to Minnesota, and he had these last 2 years 12.5 sacks and 13.5 sacks. So, and it looks like he only played one game last year, so it looks like he was out with injury. But what is that? 26 sacks over 2 years, pretty solid. So, but like you mentioned, Alexander is a top 3 cornerback. Would you say?
Yeah, he's pretty. Yeah,
something like that.
Top 3, top 5.
My final analysis on them was that it's a weak division, and so I think that helps them immensely because I think if they were in a tougher division, I think they wouldn't be. I don't think they're going to be a deep playoff team. I put that down. I don't think they're a Super Bowl threat, and that's really because I think Aaron Rodgers is like the Tom Brady effect, can make it happen with anybody, but it's like they're kind of one-dimensional if they don't have that without Devontae for sure. So they could ride Devontae so much these past few years.
I think they're going to spread it around more. I think they're really going to surprise people in offense.
They're going to need like a Lazard breakout or a Randall Cobb like to come back to kind of what he was or something like that. But yeah, this was our last NFC team as well. We're on the AFC. So
we're doing all AFC. We haven't done any AFC, right?
Nope, not yet.
AFC East.
We can start in the East.
Is that how we started last time?
Yeah, because we didn't go the right way. I think we went like east, west.
I think we went east, south, west, north, which does kind of make a little circle.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so we'll start in the East. Start with the Jets.
Sure.
Bottom to the top. We'll
start Zach Wilson.
I was waiting for it. I saw that smile on your face. We'll be back later this week. This will be out on a Tuesday. Obviously, I mentioned at the beginning, follow all of our socials. TikTok is doing pretty well right now, and we appreciate all the support. But we will see you guys later this week, and see you then.
See you guys.